Welcome to the Thought Leadership Series featuring interviews with some of the best minds in the industry. Today's special guest is popular platform speaker and best-selling author Anthony Morris. Hello everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and talk show host. In this segment, we're talking about the estate directory, an essential strategic tool in befriending prospect clients from Anthony's popular presentations and best-selling book, Turning Professional Days into Paydays. Anthony, the estate directory, now I've heard you mention this before in prior shows. I've actually done a couple shows on this with you. I can't believe how we can't leverage this with our clients. This is a huge tool. You have really promoted this with your coaching aspects of your practice with the people that are subscribers of yours. Walk me through this, because to me, we're going to spend a whole show on this. This is worth looking at. The estate directory, what is it? How can we use it in our practice?
Steve, you and I both know that there's been an absolute plethora of identity theft out of the cloud. Major national brands, global brands we can talk about, have lost millions of people's credit card numbers. So there has been a movement in the financial business by certain carriers and certain insurance companies and certain vendors towards kind of a vault of sorts up there in the cloud, in which you store all your information, your marriage certificate, a copy of your passport, social security details, your credit card details, all your bank account details, and all of those things. I need to tell you that over 60 and 65-year-olds get very, very nervous about the cloud. And so what we've developed is an estate directory, which is really a document that stores in a fillable PDF all of the essential records in your entire life. And we customize these as well with people's photographs and their bios. What's nice about that is when you pass away, anyone who gets hold of your estate directory, me as your agent or advisor, my picture and my bio are all over that. And we've actually found compliance to be very, very friendly in approving the estate directory with the necessary waivers and disclaimers on there. So really it's a place where I have everything so that I can achieve a successful and smooth and worry-free and delay-free transition when I'm deceased, okay? Think about this. Grandpa predeceases grandma, and grandpa has a $200,000 investment account with any company whose names we won't mention. Grandma's not on the account, and so grandma can't access the money in the account until she proves to ABC Investments or Mutual Fund Company that she actually had a relationship with this man. So now she is put in the situation of going down to City Hall to stand in line to get their marriage certificate, which she'd lost the copy of from 47 years ago. Okay, City Hall might be closing at lunchtime when she gets to the front of the line. Now we've got to have lawyers at $500 an hour writing letters to City Hall to try and uplift that marriage certificate so that grandma can access the $200,000. And these are the sorts of dramas that go on with people's estates. So when we talk to our middle-aged clients about an estate directory, your 40, 45, and 50-year-olds whose parents are entering those estate transition years, we talk to them about, Steve, I need you to put me in the room with mom and dad to make sure that their estate directory is completed. And Steve, let me tell you why. First of all, Steve, I want to make sure that you inherit big instead of the government inheriting big. Okay? I want to make sure that you inherit big instead of the government inheriting big in terms of a tax-efficient transfer of mom and dad's assets, right? And the second thing is it helps to expedite mom and dad's estate. Because if you're scrambling around looking for all of these records for a 1-year or 18-month period after the demise of dad, it can tremendously delay and cause an enormous amount of anxiety in the settling of their estate. That's why we have an estate directory.
No, this is more than we're not just inventorying products, accounts. This really is a good prospecting tool. I've seen you talk about this all the time with agents and advisors. This is an excellent thing to put in front of a potential client.
It's a wonderful, wonderful tool to use to prospect people. And the reason for this is because it also includes things. I'll give you an example. I fly a lot, as you know, Steve. 200 days a year I'm on an aircraft at a convention, running my coaching series around the country in different cities. I fly, I'll be honest, I'm a Delta Diamond. Well, the fact that I'm a Delta Diamond, my loved ones had better have a supplementary card, because if they don't have a supplementary card and I die, then the 250,000 miles that I have with Delta right now will die with me. And you need to look out for those frequent flyer programs and all those loyalty cards that you're carrying, because in the fine print, if you do not have a supplementary card active at the time, those miles are not paid into your estate. How do you shut down my LinkedIn? How do you shut down my Facebook? How do you go about shutting down my personal and my professional website, Steve? Okay. How do you access, what is the alarm code for my cabin or lake house or cottage? Okay. Let's talk about the family safety deposit box in the bank. Okay. And who accesses that? And what about my special needs child, and for how long is that special needs child's health insurance paid, and by whom if I'm not around anymore? These are the essential facts that we've left out of the financial planning process in too many cases, because we've been focused, as you've heard me say, on 2-inch drill bits instead of 2-inch holes. This is a massive problem if people don't have their records safely kept in one place to achieve that smooth and efficient transition.
Well, for more information on how you can use the estate planning directory and how it can expand your practice, just click on the landing page address in the video description. We'll be right back with more with Anthony Morris.
This is your website. Few people visit, and if it isn't attracting new visitors, it's not doing its job. Now you can drive more visitors to your website through dynamic content and email marketing with CreativeOne's Social Media Elite. Capture quality leads faster and easier. Engage your visitors with informative articles and videos to boost your online credibility. Plus, stay connected with existing clients and earn more referrals. All content is customized for you. It's time to introduce your website to the world. Call your CreativeOne sales team at 800-992-2642 or visit us online at creativeone.com.
In this segment, we're continuing speaking about the estate plan, the essential strategic tool to open up dialogue between prospective clients, all from Anthony's popular presentations and best-selling book, Turning Professional Days into Paydays. Well, let's get into it. I mean, we just talked about it in the generic. This thing is exhaustive, and we're not going to be able to cover it all, but why don't you walk through some of the highlights of this and why this is not only great for the client and the customer, but why this is such a great prospecting tool for the advisor.
Well, let's start with the end in mind. The reason it's such a great prospecting tool for the advisor is you can actually use this estate directory to really unpack and investigate in a non-obtuse way, non-direct way, all of the financial assets and liabilities and obligations and contractual relationships with different people, different financial solutions, different financial structures, the client's debt situation, the client's asset situation, etc. So really, you know, Steve, in a limited show like this, with everybody as busy as they are, you appreciate we haven't got time to go through everything, but we'll kind of blow through some of the pages. And here's the key, is you don't just send this to someone. You actually call up your client, Steve, and say, Steve, I've sent you the Chinese or Greek food or Italian takeout menu. Which one of the next 6 Wednesdays can we get together between 6 and 9 p.m. in your home? I'm buying you dinner. Let's get together and get your estate directory done. And you sit and complete the fillable PDF of this with your client. That's the key. I have a client in Roanoke, Virginia, discovered $1 million that his number one client had, which he had no idea about within the first 30 minutes of doing his first estate directory. It was a good evening, I think you'd agree, Steve.
That's a great evening, yes.
So name of the insured, all of your details about your spouse, your children from current and previous marriages, citizenship papers, your parents, where are they buried, who puts flowers at your mom's grave after you're gone, name of financial advisor, religious contacts, accountant, attorney, stockbroker, executors of your estate, the safety deposit box, where are all the titles, where are all the deeds, where are all the keys, who's got the key to the cottage, okay, who's got the key to the family's ski boat, all those types of things. Vitally important.
I don't think people think about that at this level.
No, they don't.
I mean, you're talking about the keys to the cottage, my alarm code in the cottage. I'm thinking, I've been in this thing 30 years. I've just never seen that in this kind of material.
Absolutely. And the nice thing about it, Steve, is when you do this with your client, it's not the fact that they have all their records in one place. It's the feeling that they get from feeling this organized. And once I've completed this with you, I could say, Steve, do you suppose mom and dad have got all their records in one place? You're probably going to go, not to this extent. Put me in the room with mom and dad, and I'll give them an hour of complimentary advice and instructions and complete this with them, which means it's a very high road servicing aspect to our approach to people. We've become too obtuse in trying to find gaps in people's financial situation, and people are feeling oversold to. But this is a wonderful way of getting in front of people. Where all of the jewelry, the stamps, the coins, all of those documents listed, all the tax receipts for the property, the will, the guardianships. Do you have a trust? Do you have a special needs trust? For how long is your special needs child's health insurance paid, beyond age 21 or not? Caregivers. Let's talk about bank accounts, mutual funds, annuities, savings bonds, other bonds and stocks, life insurance, other policies, property and casualty insurance, organizational benefits, that government life insurance you might have, current employees, group life, etc., pension plans, IRAs, 401ks, all of that information, social security information, business ownership, how those relationships, you can see that those advisors who want to do big business with business people need to make sure that the right partnership agreement is in place and that it's correctly funded for probability and possibility, and this raises that conversation with them. Previous employers' memberships. You know, Steve, I now live in Arizona, previously was in Canada. I still owe money on my Cambridge, Ontario golf membership that we're having a 5-year special, financed, interest-free. Quite frankly, Carla is going to come to my funeral if I pass away, but she's going to put her hand into my estate for the 2 years that I still owe on that golf membership. People forget about these things. Legal actions, who am I suing, who am I being sued by, what about my credit cards, rent, mortgage payments, other financial commitments, support, obligations, all my computer password setups, voicemail, online banking as well, frequent traveler programs, affinity programs.
So this is all, even frequent flyer miles.
Everything's got to be there. Everything's got to be there. The main profitability in a frequent flyer program or loyalty program is what's called leakage or breakage. Okay, I don't want to be the Ralph Nader of your life here, but quite frankly, if you don't use those miles, they absorb them, and if you don't transition those miles properly, they get to retain them. They don't have to pay them out. Affinity programs, those shoppers cards and everything else, your professional website, personal website, how do you shut that down, and what must happen to your body, quite frankly. Okay. Details about your funeral. So this is beyond a will. This is like a will on steroids, because what this does is it actually documents every single aspect and password piece of information that's critical and crucial. And it's a wonderful way for the client to do their own financial needs analysis effectively. Because once you've got this done with your client, even if it takes a couple of hours, it's the fact that it's a highly referable event that they will put you in the room with other people who should keep their records this way as well.
Anthony has 6 free offers out on his website as an introduction to his marketing menu of services. Well, for more information on how you can use the estate planning directory, just click on the landing page address in the video description. And for more information on our shows, seminars, and workshops, just follow us on our social media or visit us on our website. I'm Steve Savant. We'll see you next time on the Thought Leadership Series, and remember, keep thinking outside the box.